We know Will is 3-1.
Sure. We're going to assume Dean is 3-1 until the standings update for us. Round 4 hasn't hit yet. So let's go back. Let's go with 3-1. Otherwise, it's a really brutal pay down after being paid up. So
yeah, but being paired up into someone who's 2-0-1 and winning last round for Will is obviously really valuable.
Yeah, Will's effectively breakers, as we'll call them, and sort of like matchup spread now is good from a point of view of if a second loss gets into the equation.
Yeah.
We don't really want it to. We actually ideally would like to see a win out from here and get to round 8 and just take a round off. But for sure,
we will definitely get someone on coverage though. If there's an ID at any point, anything like that, we will 100% have live magic for you.
Oh, 100%.
We will get people in.
There'll be live magic the whole way. It's just going to be who is the only question we're going to have at any particular time.
So we're into the game. Will has gone Relic into Psychic Frog. Dean with a Hedron Crab or a Ruin Crab, I believe that is.
So this is the mill player that Doug was talking about. Dean took down Doug, I believe, in a previous round.
Have we heard whispers of a mill player on the wind, have we?
It was more a case of anger from Doug. Doug got milled out and they took their win condition and it was basically GG. So Dean obviously playing mill and could be the absolute specialist ghost at it. We're not too sure yet, or could be picking a perfect meta really.
To be honest, from what we've heard around the floor, there's a lot of Amulet Titan in the room today.
Yeah.
And if anyone has played historically the Amulet Titan versus mill matchup, it is absolutely atrocious for Amulet Titan.
Yeah, and what we're seeing at this point, we'll start to see a bit of a spread of where certain parts of the meta have gone to a separate place. So, the top tables, which were like feasting on matchups, now have to play each other.
Yeah.
Well,
there is a hammer player at 4-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Josh Corliss is at 4-0 on Leyline.
Leyline Zoo. So we've got
Kev's
a hammer player. We've got a brood scale player. They're all at 4-0.
Yeah,
so a good little mixture. But Drown in the Lock, cleaning up the Psychic Frog. Dean untapping with more crabs with a fetch land. So milling for 6 just off the fetch land being played. And here we might actually see Esper Blink struggle because it's not going to be the quickest clock. It never traditionally is from these Esper decks.
Sure.
Normally mill will have just enough interaction between Fatal Push, Drown in the Lock, sometimes some counter magic. It depends on the build, but they can really slow down their opponent's game plan. And another Impended Overlord, it's helping the mill player along by milling 4 cards, but we do essentially get the pick of the bunch with all the cards. So Solitude is going to be able to get rid of a crab, potentially.
Yeah.
So that can help slow down the milling.
Do you think should you still keep the Bellmerks going into game 2 though with this idea, or you just going to have to just get big and beat them?
So Philia flickering a Bellmerk can present quite a quick clock, but I'd be interested to see how Will sideboards for this match. It's obviously not something you see all the time nowadays. Mill used to be a lot more popular than it was, so we're seeing Solitude evoked by exiling Flickerwisp.
You do just find in sort of these like tournaments that you're on a good autopilot, playing well against what you know is a meta, and then something like Mill coming along, like really tests those neurons, doesn't it? And this Ephemeral Solitude, I'm sure, is being pointed at one of the crabs.
So it was an Ephemerate on the Solitude in response to the fetch. Drown in the Lock counters the Ephemerate.
It's pretty much...
we find the land and still mill for 6, but then one of these crabs are probably going to go away unless we see a consign to memory or something slightly strange like that.
Yeah, which may not see too many of those main boards at all.
No, I'd be surprised to see too many of them in the main board, but weirder things have happened. We'll just flump in those cards into the graveyard. The Solitude doesn't stick around due to the countered Ephemerate.
Flumping and splunking in the same potential stream is a set of words that I would probably never have assumed I'd have said, but here we are. It's 2025.
Crab ends up in exile.
And this is where, like, does Dean have the follow-up? The big thing for, like, Will, things like the Tash Assiduous Laughter isn't too great because a lot of Will's creatures are, like, really big bodies.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see the Tashas stay in post-sideboard if they are being played. I know sometimes they don't even get played. Depends how many Evoke Elementals are wandering around.
Yeah,
but another fetch land is a really nice follow-up as a minimum.
And Will want to shut off the Drown in the Lock to the best of the ability. Yeah,
so Relic could be activated here at some point. That can shut down Drown in the Lock quite nicely.
Just a big old race, because like Will have to go digging for their pieces, but at the same time, there could be a in response dead. Which means like he might need to take his time and actually deal with the imminent threats of like having crabs on board, or being able to respond to an attempt at a big mill.
We might also be in a situation now where Will can't even kill Dean by attacking with these overlords, because they might mill him out.
Yeah, for
sure. From him attacking with them.
Well, the Ketchmouse is good here, and I think at some point now there's plenty of fodder. You just get rid of the graveyards soon, and then start coming in with the Ketchmouse. Yeah,
I think that's going to be where we want to be. So just in response to Dean's fetch, Will is fetching, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Relic get cracked here. So this is draw 3, lose 2 by exiling a Relic.
Yeah.
So you draw the card off the Relic, you draw the card off paying the cost for the Relic, which is exiling it, and you lose a life, and then you draw a card off the graveyards being exiled as well.
Yeah.
So essentially draw 3, lose 2. Relic looks a lot better when you actually have Ketchmouse.
Both on the same sleeves, which is confusing me a little bit.
Yeah, there were decks being cut there, and I'm glad the players have managed to keep track of which is their own deck. So another 3 being milled off of Dean's fetch as well, and passing to Dean's turn. So Will doesn't have many. He nearly missed his overlords there.
Nearly. That would have been double
Field
trouble.
of Ruin is functionally a fetch land for this crab. It's going to mill 6 cards. Dean just asking for a count. I think about 11 or 12 cards left, maybe.
Really big decisions now. Like, do you go into this matchup knowing that Mill is going to probably take game 1?
I think probably, unless you come out the gates really quickly and have some thought seizes and removal, the exact right amount of removal for the exact right amount of crabs that your opponent plays. It's really tough. And I think that's a Lord of the Rings Aboro in Dean's land base as well.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Even if we run out of things to be doing, we can always pick the Aboro up, play it as our extra land, and just get some more mills. So that is a Fractured Sanity. I think being hard cast, which is going to mill Will out and be good enough. So going into the sideboards,
deep breaths.
I don't think we want the overlords.
Yeah, we feel okay. Just obviously for chat at home is we have taken away the timer just because we found that we were probably a little bit unreliable based on the fact that there's a big room and stuff is starting at a weird time. But we are going to obviously call it for you if we hit turns. But yeah, we are all set up now that we are avoiding ads in Twitch chat by running ads in between. But if you do have YouTube Premium, you can go over and check us out on YouTube as well. So we are on the Old Emo Dave channel over there. But thank you for being here on Twitch if you are.
Please subscribe to us on YouTube.
That's free, right?
If for some reason you like the sound of mine and Dave's dulcet tones, you enjoy what we have to say about the game, we have our Get Your Deck Out podcast. We do leagues. We have live commentary and sometimes recorded commentary.
That's right.
It's about the same quality. It's the same kind of vibe, but
we do paper Magic.
Competitive Magic specifically.
So we'd love to see you and to check us out over there. But if you are here and you've got that little Twitch Prime, please be giving this to Will, because it's all for a good cause. Just hit that button. Let it be money we chuck towards the Ukraine effort. Are we in a spot where more cards come in than the 60?
I don't think so. I've never been a huge fan of sideboarding up to, say, 66 cards against Mill.
No.
It's unlikely that you have nothing but good cards to play. There's always going to be cards that you can take out that aren't going to be effective. For example, we could see maybe a prismatic ending come out here from Will, just trimming where you can in the margins to try and bring cards in.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can sideboard up over 60, but it's very unlikely that those extra 5 or 6 cards are going to be the difference maker. These new age mill decks, if you like, but playing Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Fractured Sanity, and the full 8 crabs, that sort of thing. A lot of the time they go completely over the top and can just completely annihilate your library instead of just about getting there. But you do sometimes see it where it comes down to a single turn or a single mill, or you want that Tasha's Hideous Laughter to hit 1 or 2 extra cards. But I think diluting your own game plan to even try and backdoor into that is a little unreliable, we'll say.
A little bit, yeah, but lots of options for Will to keep this mill under control.
It's not a matchup you play all the time, is it? Even on
No.
Modo leagues.
You do tend to be a mill person, though, don't you? Like you don't have mill in the locker for the 1-off. You just mill. If you're a mill person, you're a mill person as often as you possibly can. Other than when it's hideously unplayable.
If your Modo screen name is Tybalt of Red Sub, and you've been playing nothing but mill for the last 3 years, then you can get away with it, and you can do what you need to do with that.
Some people do happily confess to being mill, and mill is your thing. So
I just had a look at Tybalt of Red Sub's MTG Top 8 page, and we have 1 Pioneer Challenge with Dimir Control, and then going all the way back to 2023. Dave, if you could have a look at my phone here and just tell me what you can see.
all I can see is Tybalt likes to play mill.
They only play
One's
mill.
played Dimir Control, and I can tell you that is a Pioneer deck that includes Jace and Tasha's Hideous Laughter, probably.
It is a Sphinx's Tutelage, the Water Crystal deck.
Yeah, so basically mill in Pioneer.
Mill in all formats.
Okay, well,
So-
that's good. Prismatic
Ending on the crab, it's what I said needs to happen, where we need the removal and the
Relic's
amount of
good.
crabs to line up for Will to be able to be in with this.
Yeah, Relic's good here, though. This is also, like we say, going to help remove that graveyard, turn certain things off.
Yeah, we're turning off Drown in the Lock.
Yeah.
Most importantly.
Which is a hell of a removal spell if you've got the pieces.
It's a good removal spell and a good counter spell.
Is this a shop in Sukon?
Dave, come on.
I just got done.
Dave.
The compilation is growing about me. My.
This is why you don't let boomers on Twitch.
That's correct.
Honestly.
South player, shout out you. I'll shout out you more if you go sub to the YouTube for your cracking of a quality joke. We'll put in a short if that sub happens. You watch this just be one of these, like, is in this room right now, just doing me on an alt. Psychic Frog.
You couldn't have walked into that harder if you broke your nose on the door. Psychic Frog is a very nice threat to have against Mill, because if you can dodge the Fatal Push, Drown in the Lock style removal, then it's going to be a really effective little threat. Going up on cards without milling them is where you want to be.
What's the Ephemerate doing here? Flicker in the Bogart, is it, or something? Is that? I am a good sport. Thank you for being a follower of this channel, and I'm assuming you went to see the YouTube as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think there was a Fatal Push targeting the Psychic Frog. It was just beneath the face cam there, but Ephemerate just protecting the frog.
Oh,
So
okay, he was protecting the frog. Okay.
Will relicking himself to try and help keep down the Drown in the Lock. So the Drown in the Lock actually can't kill a Psychic Frog very easily unless there's exactly 2 cards in the graveyard. So you can respond to it by giving the frog flying, and that will turn off the Drown in the Lock.
Yeah.
You can also use that to make it not work as a counter spell. So Ephemerate protecting that from the Fatal Push. The Fatal Push is the card that Dean really wants to see more of in this sort of matchup. It can clean up the Psychic Frogs in particular, but also deal with Flicker Wisp and Philia and Emperor of Bones and all these more efficient mana-wise threats that are going to be what's really clocking him.
Yeah. So it really is strong. Use your Prime sub here. Go on, Psych. Go on, player. You do this. When is when there is no actual crab, this deck unfortunately does seem to fall over.
Yeah, Mill can look a little anemic if you can keep the crabs
Player,
off the board.
we love you and appreciate you. That effort goes a long, long way to help with the responses to support in Ukraine.
After they've used their sub after absolutely cratering you.
I'll take it.
Is that worth it? Is that worth it for the sub?
It's worth it for the people of Ukraine. I love it. I love everything about it.
So you can insult Dave and get away with it, provided you sub. Everyone take note of that.
Right on the chin. You should literally just do like an insult me stream and like be like, yeah, that's cool.
Roast old emo
As
Dave.
long as the sub number continues, that's all that matters.
So surgical extraction is being cast.
Anything from a sub, Jacob. I swear, there is a line. You are welcome to try and find it.
I think that is.
That close to lethal.
Someone get Dave out of the chat. Okay, so we have got 7 power of attackers. Dean is going to be going down to at least 9. We might even see some cards discarded to the Psychic Frog here. Drown in the Lock is being cast. In response, we're giving the Frog flying. So the little trick, as I said, to essentially turn the Drown in the Lock off.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race here. The big thing is, am I right in saying they'll play Toxic Deluge, like we usually see on the mill deck?
That's normally the sweeper that you see out of Mill, yeah, is Toxic Deluge specifically.
The big thing is they got to get a 3 mana before they can even cast that. And also their life total might be really quite dangerously low off the back of it as well.
I think they have 3 or 4 mana. They have got some lands just underneath the face cams here.
Oh, yeah, we see, actually, yeah. They're just tapping them down. Yeah.
Deluge, pay 9 life. Concede with honor.
It is right now, though, on the basis of Will has 4 cards in hand. So
it is going to be a deluge for at least 6, right?
They'll have to deluge for the whole value that the frog can get to.
Yes.
Otherwise, the frog kills them.
Yes. And then Will can just not discard any cards and then untap and play some more threats.
Yeah.
We'd hope after that point that there's Drown in the Locks and Fatal Pushes and things like that to help keep the board clear. That's how Dean's going to get back into this game. But wasn't able to stick a crab at all.
Nope, exactly. And for you lot in chat who are just memeing the hell out of me, the big thing that Axion need to know is that you're here. And the way Axion know that you are here is by clicking that link. It has just popped up in chat. Whether you buy something or not, buy stuff because you do get a discount. But the fact that like you've gone there from this link today is going to be massive for them, just to know that this is a really good idea for us to have a stream live so you can roast an old man. So yeah, go. I would never usually say to you, click on a random link a stranger's told you to on the internet, but this is the one time I think it's deemed okay.
So Drown in the Lock being cast on a Thoughtseize here. So what Will can do is discard a card to the Psychic Frog and then give the Frog flying to, again, counter the Drown in the Lock.
Yep. Or is he just not going to not bother?
We are calling a judge just to make sure, I think.
I believe that is how it works, though.
Yes, we can indeed discard a card to the frog and then give the frog flying and essentially counter the Drown in the Lock.
He's fatal pushing, which doesn't do anything, his own Flickerwist to make sure that it was 3 cards so it got flying.
Yeah, nothing left in hand. We'll pump the frog up and get Dean dead. So 1-1. That's what Will needs to do, is answer the crabs just enough.
Control them beat down. Mid-range me up, baby.
Protect that Psychic Frog. It's a really, really nice one to have here where it's going to be doing a lot of good work.
Yep. Head into game 3. A relatively quick set, which is what you tend to find with Mill. Mill tends to get you or it doesn't. That's
yeah, a lot of the time it wins quickly or it loses quickly, and then you have the odd one game out of every 12 or 13 where
that's a grindy white.
Yeah, that's a grindy like counter mirror, and you're both interacting, and you can't really stick they can't stick a crab, you can't stick a threat, and you just end up staring at each other for a little while. That can happen sometimes.
Yep, absolutely does. And what we'll be looking at from Will is more of the same. Dean, I don't know if Dean actually multi-mulligans here to multi-crab turn 1 hands. That could be half of what gets us there. You just don't know. There's a slight readjustment happening on the camera. I hope that's Scott. He did just walk out of the room to do that. Otherwise, the camera is currently moving scarily on its own. There we go, Scott. Stop now if you... no, a little bit more back, Scott. There we go. We've got ongoing adjustments being made. No, we need to go back a little bit more, Scott. Okay, we'll live with that. We'll live with that and sort that out as we go. So, you made it better. Didn't make it worse. Made it generally better.
I was just trying to pick it up a little bit so we could see slightly more of Dean's lands.
Yeah, more of the same, really. That's going to be
Turn 1 Crabby.
turning on Crab. I think Will is calling. Please, can I have a fate push?
Or a prismatic ending.
Yeah. Once you shut it down, you feel good. It's just once these crabs get a turn. Yeah, there we go.
Prismatic ending right away.
Once these crabs get a turn, you feel like you feel on the back foot because, like you say, you still wants to dig the graveyard to fuel everything. There's a second crab. This is really the hydroblast, pyroblast thing you get in Pauper, where you're fighting over a 1/1, but that 1/1 ends up winning the game. Does Will untap and get rid of this as well? We'll see shortly.
So milling 3 off that fetch land being played. Untap. Do we have another removal spell?
There is an anticipation,
Ooh,
but there's
don't.
a go.
Oh, unless you can respond to the fetch land here. So Dean's not going to crack the fetch because we might have been in a world where Will does have, say, a fatal push.
Yeah.
And in response to the fetch land, you fatal push, and then Will can save 3 cards out of that. Another basic land out of hand. So Dean, no black mana currently.
Do you hold the crabs back here if you had another crab just in case you just want to keep the engine going, or is this a sign that Dean is out of crabs?
To me, it's a sign that Dean is out of crabs, because normally what you would do here is you'd want to drown in the lock. So you can play the island, play an extra crab. You can play an extra crab, play the island, and then you still have the 2 mana available for the drown in the lock. So looks to me like no crab available, and an Undercity Sewers was the land fetch there in response to the Philia. No drown in the lock for the next turn either. We have blue available.
So Philia can remove the crab, but maybe we want like a heart. We want more of a definitive removal of the crab.
So Flicker Wisp, flicker the planes. So what we can do here is we do the little trick where you attack with the Philia and then it returns the Flicker Wisp on the end step. What that will do is remove the crab for Dean's turn. So it's not removal,
but it's slow the bus down.
Temporary removal.
Slow the bus right down.
So that is a ruin crab. That is each opponent mills 3, not target player.
Yep.
I believe.
That's
no,
right.
that is the target player one, but it's also a 0/3, not a 0/2.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So cycle a Fractured Sanity. So Will is going to mill 4, and Dean gets to cantrip off the back of it. Consign to Memory was brought in.
You rather see it cycled than actually slamming to the ground?
Yeah, it feels a little bit like a rock and a hard place sometimes, where simultaneously Dean asking for a graveyard count, that would
That's ominous.
it would indicate to me Visions of Beyond.
Lining the mana up that way.
So I think that is an Urborg, but I'm not 100% sure. So Tasha's Hideous Laughter was kept in.
Yeah, so this is Tasha's.
And this does exile as well.
The dog should have a counter.
It should. You are right, but again, we are playing at Comprel today, not ProRel.
Yeah.
So we are not compelled to interfere in these games. If there's something absolutely game-breaking, then we will poke our heads out and stop it.
If we see quote-unquote cheating, in other words, not intentional, but even like stuff which means games could have gone other way, we will go and speak about that.
Yeah, exactly. But in this case, it's just
a miss. It's a
Will,
miss trigger, and we hit.
Oh, there we go. He must have heard us. I think that's the thing is I don't know if you can even consider that a miss trigger because the Flicker Wisp was returned. So the Philia should just be a 3/3. That's not a case of missed. It's not
that's
a
true.
case of
it should be a 3/3.
Something is a May was forgotten when it could have been done. It was just the ability wasn't fully resolved. I had a situation in an RCQ where my opponent paid 7 life to a Grizzlebrand. We played some more spells on the top of it. Resolved the stack. We went to combat. My opponent attacked me and then stuck the hand in the air, shouted Judge, and realised they hadn't drawn the 7 cards off of activating their Grizzlebrand in the first place. So these things happen. It's fine. We're getting through it. So Relic of Progenitus was the play and a fetch, so we could see a Ketramos here. In the face of Tasha's Hideous Laughter, that Ketramos is going to be online. Almost definitely. I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Yes. I think you just, with your will, you try and beat down, wow, a second
Another
Progenitus.
relic. So we're not doing the Psychic Frog thing here to insulate from Drown in the Lock, but we are doing the Relic of Progenitus thing to insulate from Drown in the Lock, which is obviously a really important piece of interaction.
So here's a crab coming back. There's an ephemerate, get rid of the crab.
Yeah, so we have the crab came back from the Philia attack.
We've just had a fridge fall down in this room. Just, for anyone who might have heard that on stream, but you might not have. But
yeah, so the crab came back from the Philia attack on the end step, and then still in the end step, Will ephemerated his Flickwisp to then take the crab away for Dean's turn once again. So sort of an imitation of the Philia thing, quote unquote. So Visions of Beyond, that at this point is probably just Ancestral Recall, I would assume.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Ancestral Recall would actually be significantly better in these mill decks because it is target player draws 3, and if you vintage cubed with Ancestral Recall enough, milling your opponent out by Ancestral Recalling them is a drug that you cannot get over.
Dean looks like they know lines though. This does look like this is not the first time they've been in this situation on the back foot. They've just, in response, Drowned in the Locked.
Yeah, gets rid of one of the relics. We start trying to chew through it. Ephemerate not being cast, so we do have 6 power of attackers coming in. Dean's at 13.
So we're hoping to maybe set up 2 turn here, I guess.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Will has milled a reasonable amount of cards, but I think from Dean's position, probably not having the crab back online like ever. Well,
and a fatal push as well.
Graveyards also go.
Just 1 card, so we're just tapping the relic, targeting ourselves to get rid of the fatal push.
Relic goes away.
Relic goes away, so we're growing the Philia and it re-enters untapped as well, so we can insulate ourselves a little bit more again against these Drown in the Locks. So Dean's down to 7. We have 7 power on board, so the impetus is on Dean to get something done.
Needs to remove something or win. That's pretty much the...
Fatal Push being cast, I think that was.
Yeah.
Yep, so Fatal Push on the Philia, I would assume. 2 cards in hand for Will. I think Will probably just deciding whether to ephemerate this Philia.
Yeah, potentially. As well...
Knocking on the skull.
Yeah, because essentially it takes the counters off, right? So Will had lethal, will be giving up lethal, but also be keeping resources. So.
Yeah, you're maintaining the Philia, and you're maintaining a 2-turn clock at least. So the Flickwisp just by itself is a 3-turn clock, Dean being at 7. But the Flickwisp and the Philia, it's still going to maintain it as a 2-turn clock. This Ephemerate will not be cast.
We'll draw cards.
See what we find. I think that's a Solitude in hand. So Relic, exile a card because we're just going to flicker it with Philia anyway. So Dean goes down to 2.
Dean now can't Toxic Deluge.
Yeah, Toxic Deluge no longer an out unless you have exactly Toxic Deluge plus Fatal Push. You can Deluge for 1 and Fatal Push the Philia. But the Handshake, just about.
That is game.
Prismatic Ending and Solitude left in hand as well, so we were ready.
That is game, and yes, a good starter.
Will moves to 4-1.
Will moves to 4-1.
We know how to pick them.
We do know how to pick up. Obviously, we will now take you to the short break screen. Obviously, we will run the longest ad possible so that we can hopefully get rid of the games. And we'll then maybe back. We'll be back then with a bit more of a roaming cam shortly. But for now, I'm Old Emo Dave. This is Scott Levins' MTG, and we will see you all shortly.